In tonight's episode, we have our first physical encounter with a handyman, and it ends up being rather painful for everyone involved. We find a quiet moment, and we have a good chat about the significance of the bells right at the beginning of the game, and ask if the tune actually meant anything. We have a rather unfortunate disagreement with a man about his gear, and we ask him very politely if we can borrow it, and we also have a chat about the location of the tears and what that means and for the what implications it has for the multi-universes and things like that. This is Bioshock Infinite Explained. Welcome back to Bioshock Explained Part 11. We have just been unceremoniously dumped from the airship, and we've landed in Fink Industries with some quite hideous tunes going on in the background. As this is Bioshock Explained, there will be spoilers from the start, so if you haven't yet played through the game or know the ending, I do suggest that you watch a different playthrough rather than this one. Now the Finks, we have more than one Fink in the game. We have Jeremiah Fink, and we have the other one. His name is momentarily escaping, but I'm sure I'll get it back in a bit. One of which is the composer and the inventor of the Vox phones, and the other one is this one here. Let's just listen to these guys for a sec. And that seems to be it. Yeah, and one of them is Jeremiah, who's the inventor here. However, both of them use the tears as the source of their craft. The other Fink, his office, the place where he works, is very near the Lutece's laboratory. Therefore, the tears occasionally will materialize in his workplace, in which he heard lots and lots of modern day songs, such as Girls Just Want to Have Fun and all that kind of stuff. But it's also where this Fink sees many of his inventions, or basically steals many of his inventions. Let's check out this Vox phone here.
Samuel always thought that the pew on Sunday went hand in hand with the desk on Monday. Science is the slow revelation of God's blueprint. After 2 years in the Lamb's Tower on Monument Island, he took ill with cancer of the stomach. I prayed to the prophet, and the prophet delivered unto us a miracle through his servant Fink. I do not know if I will ever get used to a husband bound in a skeleton of metal, but better a handyman than a dead one.
Right, before we talk about that, we do have aids to Devil's Kiss here and an aid to the Bronco, but I think we're going to save our coins for something we want a little bit more. That is the wife of the handyman. She fills in with a backstory there. We've already discussed it in a previous video, but the handyman used to be a scientist, probably working at the Siphon, the place where Elizabeth was kept, and unfortunately, just like Comstock, contracts cancer and is basically on the verge of death. But Fink saves him, perhaps using Big Daddy style technology, a combination of both man and machine creates the handyman, who we come across a little bit later on. And when you listen to the handyman at the very beginning of the game, we kind of skip past that section of it, but he is deeply sad and unhappy, potentially unable ever to sleep, potentially in constant pain. He's almost like Frankenstein, if you've ever read that series of book, or that book, or watched a film idea. You know, he is not at all happy to be what he is, and perhaps even hates what he has become, but perhaps there is very, very little option well, there is no option in it for him, but he has had no choice but to follow the instructions that he is given. It is nice to see these kind of ideas, although these guys are rather synchronized in their movements. They could make an excellent swimming team, but they money. It's nice the way that this game does show us how the world in which we are in is actually created. I can't pick that up. No, so near yet so far. I will take some more lockpicks, but I'm okay for health. Obviously, at the moment we are apart from Elizabeth. We tried to take her to New York. She wasn't at all happy about this, so she has run from us. But she doesn't really have any other options, and sooner or later she will realise that if she wants to get out of here, she needs us, because out of here anywhere is potentially better than trapped here. We have some salt. This is, of course, the first time that we are really truly seeing some of the, I don't know if it's the underbelly of Colombia, but it's certainly the people that we didn't see in our first entry to Colombia. You know, with the Colombia we first saw was the utopia, but this is the. I thought I just saw something underneath that box there, actually. But this is the industrial side of Colombia, the people that actually kind of keep it going, the people that do all the work, the people that allow the predominantly whites and rich to live in luxury. Don't know if we have anything particularly interesting over here, so we shall move on. As we will see later on, although these guys are working incredibly hard, they are perhaps lucky. They are some of the few with jobs. There is an unemployment problem amongst this community, and actually no, sorry, I do need to go over there because that's the only route through. These are the only ones with jobs, and we'll see later an auction, a very interesting auction, where people are actually bidding to be paid the least for a day's work, and we will come on to that a little bit later. A bit concerned at some point these guys are all going to kick off at me, but we'll let events take its course as we carry on. Now, thank you very, very much to all of you that have given me comments in the comment sections. I do read them all, and I reply to as many as I can. And many of you have pointed out that there have been bits of the plotline that I haven't quite picked up on, or things I should have talked about more. And of course, I will try and cover things as I can, and I will go back and recover things that I missed in the past, such as the he doesn't row section that I didn't talk about in video number 1. But a really interesting suggestion from Cybig Plays. I hope I pronounced that right. I wasn't sure if it was like a pun on cyborg or what, but sorry, we'll just listen to this here.
Performing routine daily prayers to the founding fathers, was captured by the pro-union police force of Greenville, Texas today. On their way to the Greenville jail, a mob of citizens overpowered them and took the prisoner. Faggots were stacked in a courtyard, and Taylor sat thereupon. Cooking oil was poured and a match set. Taylor was slowly roasted until dead before some 600 abolitionists. So is treated the righteous man in the United States of un-America.
Indeed, I mean this is obviously the part of history where America was liberating and trying to adapt. Comstock wants to keep things as they are, with the very much segregation between blacks and whites, and therefore celebrates anyone who is seen as pro that viewpoint, which is why, like we saw earlier, the assassinator of Abraham Lincoln is seen as a hero. Hi, how's your face? Is it good? Okay, you just sit there holding your crotch while I take all of your money. Oh, I can't, it's red. Oh, if I take your lunch, then you're gonna kick off at me. Oh, but there's gear. Oh, no, I need the gear. So we are gonna have to take you down. I'm sorry. Pretty please. The easiest way of doing this is probably gonna be this. Oh, my aim not as good as it once was. will you? Oh, there's one behind us. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? There he is. Really? You're not even a policeman. Why do you get? Okay, well, let's have some lovely jubbly gear. Ghost Posse. Unfortunately, this one's cool, but we do already have the improved version of this one through our DLC. But we will take, now we'll take the dosh, and there's even more dosh inside there. And the candy. And more stuff like this. Anyway, I was talking about your guys' comments, and one user suggested, Cybeplay suggested that at the end of the game, the cage shown to Elizabeth has a meaning. The cage showed Elizabeth has a meaning, and the meaning is C-A-G-E. They're musical notes that we then play to control the songbird. Now, the question that Cyberplay's asked is, well, what about the bells at the very beginning of the game? Are those notes significant? And we already talked about the fact that the code itself seems to be 122, which might have a link to the fact that we are the 123rd incarnation of Booker to meet this universe. But what about the musicality of it? It's a nice little tune that is played back to us. So I did the decent thing, got out the old piano, and worked out that the notes that it's played are E, B, B, C sharp, C sharp. It's slightly out of tune, and so it could be actually F, C, C, D. But either way, we don't really have a word unless I'm missing the significance of or certainly not words I've come across, but a brilliant idea nonetheless, and I think it's going to be great for us to explore as many of these potential avenues, even if they lead to dead ends, as possible. Are you a time thief? Ah, well. Yes, I am. This guy clearly not particularly bothered about the amount of murder that I have done a minute ago, but that's fine. Some people like it. Maybe that's how he spends his Saturday nights, and I'll just climb up this here old box.
Get out of here, snipe. You want to know what we do to pretty little stowaways? Or maybe you don't.
It's Lizzie!
Hey! Just stop for a minute!
You're a bad man.
Stay away!
Of course, all of the airships we see flying around powered by the same technology as is the city. The Lutece field, as well as being able to do tears, is also the power that allows these objects to kind of float. I guess in some sense it's almost like they are slightly removed from reality, or slightly removed from the pull of gravity. In some extent. Now this is that of course then allows the airships to fly around completely weightless, the city to
Just want to talk to you!
hang around in midair.
Stay away!
And I'm just trying to talk to the viewers, guys. Oh, and she's making a mess as she went. Look, they won't invite us back if you make a mess as you run away. Again, the detail put into these kind of sections such as this, which to be honest we're going to spend very little time in, is lovely. And a nice bit of a combination of dark and light here with shadows and light, things like that. Fink's philosophy about basically doing as much work as possible. Ow! For
Elizabeth!
as little work as possible. Now
Just
another...
hold up for a minute! I'm not angry with you!
Another interesting theory which has been discussed in the comments section is Elizabeth's tears. She, other than the Paris one, only seems to open a tear to the same place in a different reality. So exactly the same location, but in a different reality. Now, that would imply that those balloons that were just opened up there must exist at a different reality on this spot, 4,000 meters, what are we, 10,000 feet above sea level. There must be someone holding a big balloon party. Because when you look on other tears, you see boxes, you see hooks, all hanging off kind of objects that are also in our universe. So that must imply that that these things are in the same location. So maybe that implies in another version of Columbia there is some sort of Independence Day celebration going on, although we saw that of course when we first arrived in Columbia, but maybe the city was built slightly differently, or maybe it's just a variable like different buildings in different places at different points, because we saw at the very beginning that shops come and go and they dock at different times of day, so maybe a different building is docked here in a different multiverse, and that's why it has the marching band and the balloon, or whatever else that is about to be thrown at us.
God damn it!
See, that
Don't go in there!
That train was interesting because that train looked like it was on wheels rather than hanging from the skyline like the other ones we've seen. So, well, obviously there is a slight, perhaps a tiny.
No! Call it in!
Oh man!
No! Let me go!
A slight, perhaps, inconsistency with
There's gotta be another way in.
her tearability, like. Because most of the time she seems to be restricted to opening the same place in other universes, but just on a few other occasions, such as the Paris one, she seems to be able to transcend space as well. RPG. We've got some money. And I'll pick up my man purse, and we'll have a little listen to a voxophone.
They called Slade a monster and a traitor. I know the men who died in All of Heroes with Captain Slate. There is no shame to be counted in their number. The shame lies to we who assembled outside the hall. Though we were not the ones who fell, I feel only envy for those who perished under his banner.
I always think it's quite interesting with the Bioshock tapes, that these tapes are bang up to date. When you're kind of going around a game such as like Fallout, or perhaps even Bioshock 1, the Vox phones you listen to are recorded months, maybe even years, maybe even decades before, whereas that tape there must have been recorded since we killed Slate, but obviously previous to now, because she is not here. But it does show that the world we're kind of, in a sense, the Bioshock universe always kind of presents us as just trying to catch up to whatever happened before. Monroe, of course, is eventually going to, what's that, sniper rifle, is eventually going to join Daisy, the Vox Populi. Again, she may go into the same category as Slate as not particularly agreeing with their beliefs, or perhaps she's kind of more pushed into it by the fact that Slate is then killed, so she needs another group to join in that is going to be trying to remove Comstock from power. And I just came from that door, so I was just hoping that another multiverse had opened at the same time. Nope.
Hands off of me! Let me go!
Get away from her! She sounds very, very close, but she is not. Right. Anything good here? Lots of heavy breathing going on from the other side. I'm here! No. Now, we're still using our winter shield at the moment, so this might be... we are going to turn it off at some point, but let's have one last abuse of it, shall we? Any more? For any more, let's just travel on round. Yes, I will. Thank you, Winter Shield. Where'd it go? Nope. Nope, reloading bad. Let's see if we can catch up with that guy around the corner. Aha! Now, lots of people have said that the Winter Shield is a little bit overpowered. There's a bit of me that just wants to say that it's just so damn fun that maybe it doesn't matter. We can debate at a later stage, but if you've got any thoughts on the Winter Shield, overpowered, just fun, just right, stick them in the comment section and let's discuss it and debate it. But I really was surrounded by quite a lot of bad guys there, and obviously I like to pretend that I'm awesome, but I think a lot of it was that invincibility that came from that as well. What have we got under here? Another man purse with some money. Could do with some ammo. You right? Can I get in here? Don't think. Oh, there's a box there. Did I check that? Nothing new there. We're getting close to 1,000 though. Hey, dollar bill. I will replenish my carbine ammo. Those of you that haven't watched this series before, yes, I know this will stop me getting the Platinum achievement in 1999 mode, but for the purposes of this video, I think it's going to be more interesting for you to watch me staying alive rather than you watching me die. Alright, won't let me use that one in combat, so I guess we've got to go back and find poor Lizzie. Oh, she was here, wasn't she? And there's a lovely infusion for us, and we are still going to work on shields.
The doctor ordered.
I was having a chat with someone on the typical. There's the carbine ammo. I was having a chat with someone in the comment section of one of the previous videos, and we were talking about what we were using the infusions for. And who's this guy? Seriously, what is this guy? Is this? Do you know who I am? Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing at Killing Sugar, but seriously, that's like the worst policeman ever. Yeah, I was having a chat with someone, and we were discussing which of the infusions to use first, which was the most effective. And I think with the old, I mean, if the game's done well, the idea should be that there is no difference. Like, it should be equally effective whatever you get, just whichever is personal preference. But we were wondering whether if you take health, you get more health than you do if you take shield. And I haven't had a chance to actually kind of look this one up online or investigating it myself. Damn it, she'd be tearing this way and that way. But if you know the answer, give me a shout. Let's just get off here. So say for example, by taking the shield one, perhaps every time you take a shield one it adds on 5 shield, but if you add on the health one, does it add on 10 health, for example? I'm not really sure. It's Mr. Handyman. I'm not the false shepherd, I am the shepherd. And as we get another quite spectacular Bioshock cutscene. And we also discovered that the handyman played a lot of frisbee when he was young.
Hey, I'm slipping!
Do not attempt to follow me, Mr. DeWitt.
Elizabeth, I've made an arrangement to get our airship back.
You can get us out of here.
Yes, I just need to supply enough weapons to arm an entire uprising.
And where will we get these weapons? From one of our many friends and allies?
A gunsmith in Finkton should be a walk in the park. What do you say, partners?
You're a liar, Mr. DeWitt. And a thug. But you're also my only means of reaching Paris.
Just another little constant and variable.
Don't get too comfortable with my company, Mr. DeWitt. You are a means to an end, no more.
Oh, Immanuel Kant would be terribly upset at what you just said. Yeah, just another little constant and variable idea that's in the game. You remember the scene earlier where we spoke to the man on the phone who was a police officer, and we had the choice whether to shoot him or whether to wait and see what was going to go on. Now, if you shoot him, he gets shot, so no great shock there. But if you wait for him, he stabs you in the hand and you get a knife injury, which Elizabeth then bandages up. If you take the knife injury, you end up with a bandage that stays on your hand for the rest of the game. If you don't, just as you saw, because you saw my hand grabbing Elizabeth there just as I came off that particular balloon, your hand remains uninjured for the rest of the game. Now, both of these are variables, but neither of them affect the constant. So it's just yet another example of perhaps the main theme being on this game being about actions and consequences, or constants and variables. But I think the discussion about what the theme of this game really is a discussion for another time. Now, a lot of Bioshock Infinite, and indeed all Bioshock games, are based on this idea of cult of personality, and this particular section of Bioshock is clearly built on the cult of personality of Mr. Fink. His image appears absolutely everywhere. His I apologise for that. His voice echoes kind of throughout the entire area. He kind of takes the place. Oh dear, that was an angry face by Elizabeth there. She is cross. His voice echoes through this section far more than, say, than Comstock's does, and it's interesting that he communicates regularly with the people of this particular area as well, and he tries to reassure them that whilst he might treat them badly, the way he treats them is in fact normal and to be encouraged. Please be something good. I can live with that one. He tries to reassure them that all of the world's nations, the great nations, have actually been built on the work of others from lower down. So effectively he's trying to persuade his people that the way they're being treated is good, and that whilst they are not important in themselves, their effect will be so. I'm just going to have a little look in your bag. I think you can keep your cake. Hello. But as we head into the new worker induction center, this is probably going to be a good spot for us to leave episode 11 of Fallout Infinite Explained. I do hope that you have enjoyed watching, and if you have, please give the video a like and do subscribe for future episodes, and indeed all my other tutorials and videos as well. If you've got any comments, do stick them in the comments section and I will try to reply to as many as I can. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.